The team is now officially in the playoffs with 6 games left, and it looks like things are solidifying, with the Cavaliers more than likely staying at the number 4 seed. If this stays true, who is a tougher opponent? The Knicks, Nets, or, on the off chance, the Heat? And are you truly worried the Cavs could lose to one of them in a best-of-7 series?
I don't think the Cavs should be scared of any of these teams. I think that the Knicks and the Nets and the Heat are all really good teams, but they also are all flawed in some pretty big ways. I think the Nets are probably the weakest of those three because of the fact that half their team has been traded. Their leadership when it comes to the players is just completely shot. The guys on the Nets right now are all really solid players, and some of them even more than solid, all-star level players. But the organization is just going through a you-know-what storm because of Kyrie and KD just depleting all of their future thought process of playoff prowess. Yeah. And the Knicks are interesting. They might scare me the most because I think that in New York, they would be really terrifying because I don't think the Cavs would get the benefit of the doubt in a lot of their play, in the sense of I think there would definitely be more of a home court whistle for the Knicks in that series, and that would be tough because the biggest issue in moving into the Heat a little bit here, the biggest issue the Cavs I think have is their youth. And I could see with the Knicks or the Heat that the Cavs' youth really kind of gets flustered or out of sorts with those teams because of their style of play and how they kind of try to dictate the game and use their veteran savviness to get buckets and draw fouls. That being said, I think that the Cavaliers overall are more talented than all three of these teams. So on paper, they should be able to beat any of them in a best of 7 series. And that's kind of where my head is at. Is there anyone that you're more scared of? Or I saw you kind of nodding your head a little bit. Are you thinking in the opposite direction?
I was just trying to throw you off.
Yeah.
No, yes. I think overall, looking at those 3 teams specifically, which is what the question asks, I would worry about the Knicks the most simply because of their road record. Mm-hmm. They're 22-16 on the road, which makes them a team that really should be above us. Mm-hmm. When looking at kind of the road record of the rest of the East, a lot of these teams do a much better job playing away from home. And we clearly have struggled the most for us being a consistent top 5 team all year long. We're not confident away from our hard court. So that being said, I'm very happy that we've clinched some home court advantage here, and obviously the Cavs know that they need that to have any kind of success moving forward for this season. And with the Knicks, they would be the largest, or the biggest challenge comparatively. The Heat, I think, are struggling to a degree that I wouldn't worry about playing them in a best of 7. And as you stated, the Nets have kind of imploded, and we're just kind of witnessing them fall off the cliff. This is cliffhanger, and he's let go. She's falling. So I think that ultimately, I'm not really concerned about any team in the East beating us in a best-of-7 series until we are in the Eastern Conference finals. Once we're there, I think that the pressure of the moment and the stage overall, especially because we're not going to have home court going into it, I think that's probably going to be where we stop this season. But we could certainly fall short before that. But right now, the Knicks, I think, would be the first team that could possibly crush our dreams. So I wouldn't want to see them.
No, I don't think anyone wants to see it. And I think that the Eastern Conference is really tough, and I do agree with you. Going further down the road of the Eastern Conference, that's where I would be truly just scared from a talent level of through and through. These are all savvier teams in the sense of they've been there before, like the Bucks and the Sixers and even Boston. So I think that the Cavs, they have so much potential, and they know who they are and what they want to do, but they just haven't been to the playoffs, as I mentioned at the top, since 2018. And they are an extremely young team, and you just see that every year. The younger squads sometimes, not every time, but sometimes can just kind of get flustered and flounder. So that I'm hopeful that it's not going to happen, but kind of what you mentioned, I wouldn't expect that to happen until further down the road in the playoffs.
And I just have to make one caveat to our point, which is that the Knicks do have a worse home record than road record, which is pretty rare, and kind of par for the course for being a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
However, also I think that another key element is Donovan Mitchell. Now, of course, you say, right? But simply because the team that seemed to be the most possible for him to be traded to was the Knicks, and most of the games this season that we've seen him play against them, he's kind of come out to prove a point. So I would think that he'd prove a point for the whole series, but maybe that would be fun.
Agree with that. Definitely would agree with that.
Thank you for listening to the Cavaliers Basketball Club podcast. Let's go Cavs!